My shirt matches your earrings.
Yeah.
Seems like we should probably swap, but we're not going to.
Nope.
So there.
I'm just trying to match a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. Fashion is a major concern on this show.
You probably noticed before, but
Yeah. You've probably been telling all your friends, you need to check out this web show because the hosts are insanely fashionable.
like all the latest trends,
Yeah, just
inspiring the world.
basically, it's almost as if you had a subscription to Vogue just right here.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what we're known for.
We're so fancy around here, in fact,
We are fancy.
that today we've got some fancy wine for our whining segment.
We don't know if it's really fancy, but the bottle's cute.
Yeah, mostly we've always called it the fancy wine because we've had it for like 3 years nearly.
Yeah. Been a minute.
And we've like saved it because we thought maybe we'll have like some kind of occasion where it seems cool to drink the fancy wine, but
Yeah, it's so sparkly. See the logo and the top part?
but alas.
It's Gemma de Luna Moscato.
Yes.
Yeah. We want to be so fancy, but
Nobody else seems to.
yeah. So, we only know how long we've had it because we did photo shoots for our 30th birthdays, and that was not yesterday. So, and we use this wine in the photo shoot.
Yeah.
So, since a fancy occasion isn't coming, evidently, we are whining and drinking this fancy wine.
Yep.
Okay.
Ooh. I don't know why I always think it's gonna explode.
Because you never know. And on TV, it's like they want it to explode. People are like, "Psh," and let the cork fly off. And I'm like, no. If it was out any of our luck, the cork would fly off, hit the TV, knock it into the floor, bounce around the rest of the room,
Yep.
knock a window out.
So, you know. But today, we're going to be whining about not TV characters, all fictional characters' deaths.
Yes.
And these deaths are not going to be like all the deaths we've ever been sad about for fictional characters, because there's a lot that, you know, we're sad that it happened, but this list are deaths that we are mad about,
Yeah.
that we felt were unnecessary or stupid or just really hurt in a way that made us mad.
Yeah. Yeah, most of these probably made us sad to a certain extent too, but there are some deaths that while they make you sad, you understand why they happened to advance the plot or to help out a character's development.
Mm-hmm.
But these deaths are just like, why?
Why?
They didn't need to happen, probably.
Yeah.
Or, even if they did need to happen, they went about it the complete wrong way.
Yeah.
So anyway, of course, spoilers for everything ever.
Yes.
So, cheers.
Cheers. It's good.
It is
It's
good.
very bubbly.
It is. It is sparkling, just like our personalities. Okay,
100%.
let's get into it. So, one of the most recent deaths that infuriated me came from a show that we did not watch when it was on originally, but then we started watching it, and that is I guess hopefully we'll maybe try to tell you the show or the book or the movie before we talk about the death. And then if you want to, well, you can't really fast forward. You don't know how long it'll take. Some of them may take a hot minute.
Yeah.
But this came from Veronica Mars. So we didn't watch Veronica Mars when it was originally on. We watched it, later. I guess on Netflix or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got really hooked on it and really invested in it. And then I think we donated to the Kickstarter campaign for the movie, and we are big Marshmallows. And we love Veronica Mars. So then we were really excited when they said that they were going to bring another season of it to Hulu, because why not?
Yeah.
Yay! No. So then they had a pretty good season. It was a pretty good show. I thought, okay, great. And then in the final episode, they freaking killed Logan. So, forget that show. And I know they tried to make out like that they needed to kill Logan to advance Veronica's storyline because she's a strong, independent woman and da-da-da. Well, first of all, you can be a strong, independent woman and still be in a relationship. Like Veronica was with Logan.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole thing was just so dumb. And I know they were acting like it tied her to, Neptune. But really, Logan wasn't even there most of the time. Mm-mm. So why would that tether her to Neptune? I mean, she could travel and do whatever. And obviously it didn't pan out because the show got canceled. So, yeah. So, sorry about your luck, friends, because I still like Kristen Bell and stuff. But still. But also, why you gotta kill Logan? That was just, it seemed so pointless. And it just really made me mad, too, just because Logan had such a good redemption from what he was a total crappy person that was self-obsessed on the entire when the show started. And then he became just rich, could get whatever he wanted, did whatever he wanted, and then gives it all up to join the military and protect his country. Fall in love with Veronica. He becomes the stable person in the relationship, and then, boop, dead.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Made me furious.
Yep, I'll agree. I thought it was very pointless. And I hate when shows say the only thing we could have done was kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the only thing that you as writers could think of.
Yeah.
We have to kill this character. There's no other way around it.
Because I'm not a professional TV writer, and I can think of a million ways out of all of these deaths we're going to talk about, probably.
Yeah.
And that's not even my job. No. So if I can do it, I really feel like you people could do it. Yeah. You just aren't trying hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just trying to ruin our lives.
Yes.
We're thinking, like, when the show got canceled, the original show, after we had finally watched it, then we were, like, super bummed because, largely because Logan and Veronica didn't end up together. And then when the movie came out and they did, it was really great, but then they have to come back with the show and then just ruin everything.
Ruin everything. And this is one where I was gutted. I mean, I cried and cried and cried about this death too, but mostly then I was furious. And then I even went online because, see, of course, we, being Walking Dead people, nobody, no in memoriam, they're not really dead.
Yeah.
But then I went online and all the articles said, yeah, no, he's really dead. So I thought, okay, forget it. I'm not watching your show anymore. And then nobody was because it got canceled. So
Anyway. Everyone was mad about it.
Yeah.
Or should have been.
Yes. So there.
Somewhat, or another related note of a situation where the writers were like, what else are we going to do? Let's talk about Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, yes, let's do.
First and foremost, Derek Shepard.
Clearly.
That is one of the only times I have ever stopped watching a show. When they killed him, I thought it was so stupid, that they said that's the only thing we could have done was to kill him to get, I guess, I don't know, I think him and Shonda Rhimes had beef or something.
Yeah.
And he was leaving the show. So they decided to kill him, not because they were mad at him, because that was the only other possible thing that could happen.
And really, to me, in addition to being just furious about it, I guess I also felt lied to, honestly, because, and I guess technically I wasn't lied to, so I shouldn't have felt like that, but, you know, of course with any kind of a soapy show like Grey's Anatomy, people are going to break up and get back together and break up and get back. We know that's going to happen. But, first of all, Derek and Meredith did that so many times, and then Shonda Rhimes, when she finally put them back together, said, well, now they're back together, and they're back together for good, which I guess technically was true. But then just to kill him, and I mean, I guess, I don't know. This is one of those things to where I just feel like, well, first of all, to me, they should have been together forever. Mm-hmm. But secondly, why couldn't they have just either gotten a divorce or, I mean, you know, don't tell us that in the first place.
Yeah. That
now they're together for good. Just, I mean, because, yeah. And two, and maybe this wouldn't have lasted, but, you know, they did think that Grey's Anatomy, well, that Ellen Pompeo was leaving within the next few seasons too, which didn't happen. Mm-hmm. So now, I guess you're in a predicament to where if you're going to keep the show running for 50 more years, I guess really Derek couldn't have stayed alive. But like on ER, for instance, Doug left the show, which was George Clooney's character, even though he was married to Carol, who stayed on the show, Juliana Margulies.
Yeah.
But they stayed married. Doug just went somewhere else. And we just knew they were together even though they weren't together.
Yeah, you didn't see them together.
And then at the end, when Juliana Margulies decided to leave the show, she left to go be with Doug.
Yeah.
So I guess to me, if you thought, which I'm pretty sure they did at the time, that Ellen Pompeo was leaving imminently, why kill Derek? Why not have Derek just go do that thing he was doing in Boston?
Yeah.
Then she could have left to go be with him. Now, obviously, that didn't happen. So I guess then you'd have to think of a rewrite.
Yeah.
But it was still, basically, it was all to do with the beef they were having.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
You're not going to convince me that's not the reason they killed him off.
Yeah, it totally was.
And a lot of people have died on that show, but that one was the worst.
Yeah.
To me.
The second worst death on that show, though, only because it was incredibly stupid, was Denny Duquette's death.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, what in the world? I feel like Izzy had some of the craziest storylines on that show. No wonder she left. And then, also, don't even get us started on Alex leaving to go be with Izzy. That's not a death. It's just irritating.
Yeah.
But but at the same time, how you going to cut Denny's LVAT wire in the hopes that that'll bump him up, and then also have no plan to save him if it doesn't transpire the way you think?
Yeah.
You're a medical professional.
Yeah, that was really dumb.
It was dumb.
And then him as a ghost was even more dumb.
That's true too.
I hated that storyline so much.
I didn't hate it as much as you, but then it's kind of one of those to when it was happening, I was so invested in their story. I guess I got swept up in it, but then in hindsight, I was like, really? She had sex with a ghost?
Yeah,
I mean, like, what? This is not Supernatural or Buffy or anything where you can have sex with a ghost.
No.
So, yes.
Yeah, and there had a lot of the other deaths I consider more sad. Like, it's a sad moment, but I wasn't necessarily, like, peeved about it on that show.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably do a subsequent one where we talk about sad TV deaths.
Yeah, like the...
And where we would mention, like, Mark and Lexi.
Yeah.
Those were sad. And while they probably weren't truly necessary to the storyline, they made sense within the story, and they had good deaths.
And George.
Yeah, and George.
That was one of the most shocking TV deaths ever.
Yes.
That I've seen.
Yeah.
Where I was like,
what?
But yeah.
Yeah.
More of those on probably shocking or just plain sad deaths that
Yeah.
we weren't really mad about. It was just kind of like,
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Yeah. Agreed. So, I think that was every stupid death I had for Grey's Anatomy because it ended after McDreamy died.
Yep. So many stupid things have happened. We just know about Alex leaving because we read about it.
In a book.
Yep.
Really like BuzzFeed. But
So I don't know who else has died and if it was stupid or not, but
I'm sure something else stupid has happened.
yeah.
Inevitably.
So I guess I don't know, I've got some more TV shows and then a few non-TV shows.
Yeah.
Largely TV shows.
Yeah, most of mine are from TV shows. Technically, one of mine's from a movie based on a TV show. And that is from Firefly / Serenity, and that was Hoban Washburn.
Yeah.
That was just a classic Joss Whedon stab in the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, really, I guess I'm not as mad about it as I am about a lot of the ones on this list because it's really hard to say whether it was a necessary death or not because it happened at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And there was nowhere to go, so we don't know if that would have advanced Zoe and Mal's storylines or not. It was just kind of frustrating to be like, the battle's done and we kind of won, so let's kill Wash.
Yeah. I don't know, I guess it was such a big disappointment, even though it was ending. And I guess that's what kind of made it a little bit better, was the end.
Yeah.
And they didn't continue without him, I guess.
Yeah.
But at the same time, then you're really sad, because then you think, well, Zoe just didn't get, who knows. So he had all kinds of sound effects around here.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah. Yeah, so that one was one that was super sad and really kind of devastating, but since we don't really know if it would have advanced the storyline and it happened at what was presumably the end of the end, then it seems more frustrating that it happened.
Yeah, because it was, I don't know. It felt like, oh, we got to kill somebody. So,
Right.
I mean, they also killed Book.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, we lost 2 characters.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, Book, I feel like when his death was more like, okay, now this is sad. We've lost a member of the team.
Yeah.
So, then to kill another member of the team randomly just seemed like too much to me.
Yeah.
I was like,
Wasn't necessary.
no. And there's a lot of other deaths in the Whedonverse that I think are really sad. And that I wish hadn't happened, kind of, but at the same time, a lot of them I think really did progress the stories and really did have an impact on the fans and
Yeah.
on the story. So I wasn't really mad about any others. I was just like pretty sad about lots of others. So
Yeah.
we could talk about those on another video.
Yeah. If we want to switch to Game of Thrones for a minute, if you've watched some of our other stuff, you know we get irritated about Game of Thrones. But the dumbest deaths of the show happened together, and that was Jaime and Cersei Lannister, and they were dumb for different reasons. Cersei's was dumb because she just got killed doing nothing. She didn't get murdered. She didn't get betrayed by her brother, who was the love of her life. It should have been an epic death,
Yeah.
and she just got crushed by falling rocks.
Yeah, it was just so anticlimactic and so lame
Yeah.
of an ending for such a, for that character who'd been such a big part of the show and being such this villain the whole time, and that's just how it ends.
Yeah. And then conversely, Jaime had redeemed himself over the course of the show. He should have died a heroic death in combat
Yeah.
and been in Brienne's arms when he died also.
Yeah, Because whenever they said, oh, when he, he's going to die in the arms, I said, he better die in Brienne's arms. No,
Yeah.
Then no. And then they're like, well, obviously he would have gone back to her the whole time because that was his whole thing. I'm like,
no. I do not accept it.
I'm like, he had changed, and he had finally, I thought, at the end of the previous season, let go of Cersei, finally.
Yeah.
And now come to do the right thing and help these people and do all this stuff, and then, no, apparently not.
George R.R. Martin, if you're watching, fix it.
Yes, I really, really hope that the books end differently for everyone.
Yeah. Also, get to writing, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know how many more you got planned, but they're all really long.
Yeah,
So
I saw where he was working on one the other day. He had
Thank
tweeted.
goodness, yeah.
But, and I don't know, I wasn't really mad about Daenerys' death. I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
But it just seemed, I mean, it wasn't great or anything.
No, but see, that's the kind of death, though. She really wasn't betrayed, but she was killed by the man that was supposedly the love of her life or something. I don't know about that, but I mean, at least Jon had to kill her to take her out. Nobody killed Cersei.
And that's what I said, we talked about in one of our other videos. It's like, I felt like the way that Daenerys died is the way that Cersei should have died.
Yeah.
Like, by being really betrayed, by thinking everything was fine, and then it wasn't.
Yes.
Like, that's the kind of death she should have had.
Yeah.
And I don't know about Daenerys. Like, I don't really care if she lived or died. But, I mean, I don't know what else could have happened to her, but...
You know who else got a stupid death? Varys.
Yeah, Varys' death was really, really stupid. Like, from how cunning and how, he always seemed to, like, skirt by and make it, like, just to have that, all of a sudden, she just takes him out and just burns him just like that, and it was like...
Yeah.
It was so lame.
It was lame.
The guy that played Varys didn't like it either, I read.
That's what, I heard that as well.
So...
Those were all of the Game of Thrones deaths that I had.
Yeah.
That were garbage.
There were others that were, kind
Yeah.
of sad or whatever, but not like
Yeah.
anger making.
It was a little stupid how some of the wolves got killed, but some of that was see, it's kind of like, this is what we're saying, like, obviously, it was a jerk move, obviously, to kill Robb and Catelyn. But that advances the storyline.
It was a really good episode, despite the fact that all these people got murdered. And we were like,
I mean, that's a real bummer,
What?
but it has a purpose.
yeah.
But now killing Robb's wolf doesn't really have a purpose. So that sucks.
Yeah.
Killing wolves is sad.
Don't kill the animals.
Yeah, don't kill animals.
When people kill animals, I'm like,
Yeah,
why you do that?
we're all sad about it. Okay, anyway. On to the next one.
Okay, so another one that I have that I'm still kind of mad about in a way is Robin Hood from Once Upon a Time.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like, and I know why they did it, so that Regina would finally want to separate herself from the evil queen. But I felt like there could have been another way to have accomplished this task.
Yeah.
Then, after all this build-up to Regina, like, wanting her happy ending and wanting true love, and then saying, oh, you have a true love, and now you finally found him. Oh, but his wife's back. Oh, but just kidding, that's your sister. Oh, yeah, he's having a baby. And for them to, like, finally seem to be in a good place and her finally being happy, and then all of a sudden they just kill, like, Hades just kills him like that, and they're like, well, he didn't go anywhere, like, to the underworld, so he's just gone.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Dead forever and can never come back, and sorry.
Yeah, see, it still irritates me, and I guess maybe it's because I'm a romantic, but I feel like so many shows want you to think that family is all that matters and that there are all different kinds of happy endings. And that's true, don't get me wrong, okay? That's definitely true. And that independent women don't need a man to be happy. And again, totally true. But that doesn't mean they can't have one and still be a badass woman.
Yeah, like why aren't you also allowed to be in a romantic relationship?
Yeah.
Why do they have to say, well, and see, the annoying thing is that she had it.
Yeah.
It's like she has this and then they take it away.
Right.
It'd be different if she never had it in the first place.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're like, here's your true love, oh well, now everything that could have gone wrong kind of went wrong and then he died.
Yeah. But they kept acting like, well, Regina's happy ending was always going to be her family. And I thought, but why can't it be Robin too?
But Robin can also be her family.
Yeah.
Like, we know she loves Henry a lot. We know that.
Yeah.
That is obvious.
Yeah.
We know now that she has a bigger family that includes the Charming and Emma.
Yeah.
Why you gotta kill Robin Hood?
Right.
No.
I mean, the love of your life doesn't have to be an all-consuming thing like it is with Snow and Charming. I mean, Snow and Charming, now I'm not saying they disregarded their family or their obligations or being badasses. They did all that too. But I mean, Snow and Charming's storyline was very much about Snow and Charming, and that's fine too.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you can't just have, I mean, look at Emma and Hook. I mean, Emma's priority was still always her family.
Yeah.
But Hook was part of that too.
Yeah. Then Hook was brought in on it.
Yeah.
And now, he's one of the ones you want to protect or whatever that you're looking out for. So why couldn't they do that for Regina?
Yeah.
And even at the end in the last season, she was hooking up with Faslier, and I can't even remember now if he turned out to be a good guy or a bad guy. I feel like he was up to something, but then I feel like he wasn't totally a bad guy. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure he died though.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she still didn't end up with nobody at all, which just sucks because everybody else did. Everybody else got their happy ending except for Regina. I mean, their true love.
Their true love happy ending.
I guess she got her happy ending, but no true love like everybody else.
Yeah. So
that was lame. I didn't like it.
Agreed.
Didn't like it.
No. Yeah. One that was very, very, very irritating also very recently was from 13 Reasons Why. And that was Justin Foley.
Yeah. That was so sad.
It was so sad and also so stupid.
Yeah.
In a show full of the most depressing and horrible things you can ever think of happening to anybody in their whole life.
Yeah.
You're going to take this kid who has had the worst life imaginable, have him redeem himself, have him fall back into traps, which was also continually stupid.
Yeah.
It just made me so mad. Why couldn't Justin just get better and stay better?
Yeah.
But no, not only did that not happen, then all of a sudden he has AIDS and dies.
Yeah, it's like Justin was one of the main characters that I was actually rooting for. Like, I wanted him to do better.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he's actually one of the better people at the end of it who just has problems.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's working through them, and I thought, okay, maybe he's actually going to get in college and do well, and he's finally going to do better for himself and get out of this life he's been stuck in.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, he's not going to do that. He's going to die instead.
Yeah.
Like, he can never escape this life.
Right.
I hate stories like that where it's like people are trying to do better, and at the end of the day, the writers are like, nope, you're not going to do better.
Yeah.
We're not going to let you do better.
No. No, and it just was so frustrating too because he was one of the only glimmers of hope the show had. Mm-hmm. And they just are like, nope. No glimmers of hope. Life is terrible.
Yeah. I needed some Snow White on that show.
Yeah, really. No true believers.
That show is depressing as everything.
Yes, it was.
It's like one of the most depressing shows I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah.
Can only watch it in take it in small doses sometimes, because
I mean, if you're already sad, do not watch that show because
heed the warnings at the beginning.
Yeah, really, that show is But yeah, I don't know. That was just super frustrating. Very sad, but overall just frustrating and irritating.
Yeah. That was the worst.
Yes.
Now, okay, so this one is, we're going to count it, even though turns out this person wasn't actually dead. But.
Which was also dumb.
Yes. And that is Michael Cordero from Jane the Virgin.
Yeah.
So, we both loved Jane the Virgin, and we started watching it, and we thought it was so funny. And I don't know about you, but I was always Team Michael. Whenever, they broke up, whatever, I was sad about it. But then when they got back together, I thought, oh, this is great. When they got married, it was the best thing. It was so sweet when he said his vows in Spanish. It was one of, the sweetest TV moments of all time.
Yeah.
Then they finally get married. He gets shot immediately.
Yeah.
Then they're like, oh, is he going to die? And then he gets better. So we're like, okay, cool. Here we are just going about life. And then all of a sudden, they're like, oh, well, there were complications from him getting shot. And he just dropped dead.
Yeah.
And then they jump forward 3 years immediately. And we were supposed to be cool with it.
Yeah. We were not cool with it, and we quit watching the show.
Yeah, we did.
Temporarily, admittedly, but we did quit watching.
We did finish the show eventually, but...
Yeah. That was super infuriating and very, very, very sad. But it was very... Yeah. It was just so irritating because I wasn't probably always Team Michael. I had my Team Roth moments. But the whole thing, it just really did everybody dirty to me. And then really bringing it back did dirty too. Because I know they were kind of trying to give some resolution to the Team Michael people. And it would have been one thing if he had never gotten his memories back. But since he did, too, that just made it worse.
Yeah.
Because it was just first of all, it was such a slap in the face to even not get a proper grieving time for the character. Like in my mind, there's 2-3 episodes worth of grief and Michael being dead.
Mourning, then we're trying, but it's still...
But no, within one episode, boop, he's dead, and now we're over it, and you should be too.
Yeah.
And I know they did some stuff to make Jane, she would still have her moments even 3 years later, and that was all good to have. But at the same time, it was just so frustrating when he's one of the main people, and you're like, okay, he's dead, we killed him, you need to be cool with it.
Yeah, just get over it immediately.
Because it's all about Raphael.
And then to bring him back for the sole purpose of her choosing Roth over him. That's what I felt like.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like, oh, we're giving you Michael people something. Like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
He's not really dead, be happy. It was, we're bringing him back, and then he's going to be himself again, just so she can be like, no, I'm picking Raphael over you this time, since I picked you last time.
Yeah.
Just so, we could, oh, Raphael, don't worry, we love you just as much, so we're going to choose you this time. No, made me real mad. I wish they'd never brought him back in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you were going to kill him, you should have just left him dead.
Yeah.
By bringing him back, you were kind of like, ah, ha, ha, look, now she's not going to choose him, whatever.
Yeah.
And his whole country storyline was just kind of dumb, I thought.
Yeah, it was.
They brought in his real-life girlfriend to play his girl he ended up with. But still, I didn't like it at all, and I'm still mad about it to this very day.
Me too.
Obviously.
Okay, so these deaths, I'm going to say, these are kind of on the borderline of being stupid and being needed. And they're from The Walking Dead. Okay, so I know that everybody was really mad about Glenn dying. We were not. First of all, supposedly Glenn dies in the comics. We haven't gotten that far. The only reason Glenn's death was kind of stupid on the show was because they had already killed Abraham. So why did they need to kill Glenn?
Yeah.
And I know that in a way it sort of advanced everybody's storyline a little bit, but wouldn't it have done, a little bit, wouldn't it have advanced it about the same if he had lived and just Abraham had died?
Yeah.
Kind of seemed like overkill a little bit.
And the fact I think it made it worse is that they said, oh, who's going to die? And then we had to wait like 8 years to find out.
Yeah.
So by the time we got there, it was like we're already tired of it. I wasn't super mad, but I didn't really like the way they did it.
Yeah. We didn't quit watching the show or anything over it like a lot of people did. But and another death that was kind of like that was Carl's. We were never Carl people. Okay?
No.
Don't get us wrong. Coral is not one of our most, we may already sound like we're saying coral. Who knows?
Not to make it worse.
Yeah. But it was, first of all, just the fact that he got bit by a walker saving Sadiq. That was kind of lame.
Yeah, because at the time, Sadiq was like nobody to us.
Yeah. And then, it didn't really help advance any storylines per se, just because, then they just treated Sadiq like crap, kinda, because he died saving him, which was not fair to Sadiq. It just wasn't really necessary, in my estimation, other than to have a shocking death.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I always thought Carl was going to be one of the ones to make it till the end.
Yeah.
So I thought that too was kind of lame. But here's one that I was mad about, Jesus.
Yes.
And a large part of the reason I was mad about that is because I always wanted Jesus and Aaron to get together.
Yeah.
And so obviously that didn't happen because they killed Jesus.
Yeah.
And I guess, I know it was creepy the way it happened. So I won't say it was like a stupid death, because that was when we first were introduced to the Whisperers.
Yeah.
And it was really creepy, but I just wish it hadn't have been him.
Yeah. And then really, too, that when What's-Her-Face just went on a killing spree and killed, like, everybody, Alpha, when she killed Tara and Enid and, like, so many people.
Yeah.
That was kind of dumb, too.
That was shocking.
Yes, it was.
I didn't expect it, but...
I guess, too, with The Walking Dead, it's a little bit easier to forgive them because you have to have that in a show like that to where you never know who you're going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously that helped spurn the group on and stuff, but, sometimes it's still frustrating when you've gotten people... Never have hope on that show either. Or never be the voice of reason. You are a goner. And yet Father Gabriel lives on.
Creep.
Such a creep.
He's such a creep, and we've been thinking that forever. And Negan finally voiced it out loud, but...
Yes.
We basically always been waiting for him to die, and he just won't.
In the finale, he was so close to like being dead. I'm pretty sure somebody saved him.
Like a cockroach.
Right? Nevertheless, he persisted.
So here's one that I thought, it was really sad, but it was also kind of irritating, and that was Yonto Jones from Torchwood.
Oh.
Because he was, obviously I feel like he was Captain Jack's ultimate soulmate. I mean, Jack was all over the place, and he was crazy and into everybody, but yeah, so I just thought, obviously it packed it had an emotional impact, but I don't know, at the same time it just felt, I always hate it when characters are finally like, especially characters like him who are all so much all over the place, when he's finally like, I think I love this person.
Yeah.
And then they like snatch them away.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Robin Hood, and they just kill him, and I'm like, really? Did you have to do that? Why'd you have to do that? Why'd you have to do that to this character?
Yeah. And obviously we've talked about it before. We're big shippers, so when you blow holes in our ship and sink it, it's very frustrating, especially when it's for no good reason.
Yeah, and one of them dies.
Yeah.
So it's not even like, there's not even hope for the future.
Yeah.
It's one of them's dead, sorry about it.
Another death that was it was just this one's not so stupid as it is strange. Is Quentin from The Magicians.
Yeah.
And, you know, initially when he died, of course, I didn't think he was dead forever.
Yeah.
I thought that the whole final season would be devoted to bringing Quentin back.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't. It was just like, no, he's really dead, so we're going to do something else now.
And they just never brought him back at all.
No.
And I don't know if that actor just wanted off the show and that's why they decided to kill the character.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure, but it just seemed because he was... It's always weird when the main character of a show leaves.
Yes.
You feel it more when it's on a show that has a cast when there's obviously like one main character that you're following, and that was always Quentin. Mm-hmm. Even though you saw what everybody, you know, you followed everybody else kind of.
Right.
Quentin always felt like the main character.
Yeah.
And so when they just like killed him randomly, and then it was just like, well, that's it, he's gone, we can't do anything about it, and we'll never see him again. I was like, that just seems...
The only plot line to it was it made everybody sad.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't... I don't know. Okay, so another show death. Now, this one really made me mad, and I did quit watching this show, and then it got canceled, and I said, ha! Was Chasing Life. And that was the death of Leo. So you know about this, because I told you.
Yeah, because you told me. Not because I watched it.
But in case you didn't watch Chasing Life and you don't know what it is, it's a show about this girl who's like in her mid-20s-ish and finds out that she has cancer. And she's like trying to be a reporter or a writer or something. And so she starts having to go do cancer treatments and stuff. And while she's doing all that, she meets Leo, who actually is, his family's rich. And I liked him.
Who are you?
He's an exception to the rule. So, and he's kind of, I think I liked him too because he was kind of that cocky, bad boy-ish kind of character, you know.
Wasn't it Cappy?
It was Cappy, that's also probably why.
Yeah, that was probably, really.
Scott Michael Foster will always have a special place in my heart.
That was the whole thing.
Yeah. So, there was also this guy named Dominic who she liked, and they kind of had a little bit of a thing at first. But anyway, so she meets Leo and finds out that he had a brain tumor one time. And that, or maybe he has it now. I think that's what it is. He has one now, and he's like, well, we're just YOLO because I'm probably going to die any minute. And they told him he could have surgery, and he don't want to do it. So she talks him into having the surgery, and they end up getting together. And then he has the surgery, and everything's cool. And then she finished her treatments, and they say she's good for now. And so they get together. Well, then she ends up, I feel like she got better, and then it came back or something. But then, so they decided, now this was a little bit random, but they decided to get married, her and Leo, because...
YOLO.
Yeah. So they get married, and it's like their wedding night or something, and she wakes up, and he's just dead beside her in the bed. Just died, like, way after his surgery, way after everything, and they're like, oh, well, that can happen. And I'm like,
what?
Well, yeah, but why you gotta put it on this TV show?
Yeah.
I don't want to be sad watching this TV show about cancer. It's already sad. Plus,
you always want to go into a TV show about cancer expecting the best.
But I am pretty sure that it was based on a show that was like, it was made in another country, I think.
Like Bluey?
And in that show, the main character actually died at the end. So I don't know if that was the plan for April the whole time, if she was going to die at the very end of the whole show. But
that's terrible.
Anyway, when they killed Leo, I was so pissed because he was my favorite character on the show.
Yeah.
And I quit watching it, which it was nearly to the end of the season, and then it got canceled and didn't come back on. So I was like, well,
booyah.
Oh well, I wasn't going to watch it anyway because Leo was funny. Nobody else on that show was really funny. And I don't know, I mean, overall it was a drama, so it wasn't, you know.
Yeah.
But I was really mad about it.
I feel like we would be remiss if we didn't mention this, even though if you've seen anything else we've done, you've probably heard us harp on this death for 8 years. So but what if you're just tuning in and this is your first episode, and you don't know how we feel about this? You might know. On How I Met Your Mother, the mother was one of the dumbest deaths of the history of time, and admittedly, it did serve a purpose to set up a plot line that was the dumbest plot line ever.
Yes. If you've been on any of our Whine About It's, chances are you've heard us complaining about How I Met Your Mother.
Yes.
That had the worst ending in the history of TV. And the fact that they had all this build up to meeting the mother, and then in the final episode, everything is like ripped apart and she's dead, and then he's going to end up with Robin, and his kids are like, we know you've always really been in love with Aunt Robin.
Yeah.
And the writers were like, that was our plan from the beginning. And I thought, if that was your plan from the beginning, why did you do the show the way that you did?
Yeah, see.
That makes no sense.
One time, though, I read an article where the creators of the show or the head writers or whoever said, we messed up. We should have put him with Robin.
Yeah.
So, first of all, which is it? But secondly, why are you going to spend however many seasons leading up to meeting the mother to give her 15 whole minutes of screen time, maybe, to kill her? And then why are you going to spend the whole last season focusing on Barney and Robin's wedding in a great character redemption arc, just to blow that up too?
Yeah. The whole thing was really stupid, but I was really mad that she died.
Yes.
I was really mad that Barney and Robin got divorced, and I was really mad that Ted and Robin ended up together, because I thought after all this time, after he finally moved on, it was just the worst.
Yeah.
And it kind of also makes you feel like he was always in love with Robin, so...
Yeah.
Like the mother didn't even matter, and he's like telling his kids, well, I didn't really love your mother as much as Robin.
Yeah.
Is what it felt
basically,
like to me.
Yeah.
And I hated it.
I've just been telling you kids this story for years for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
No. Okay, so here's another one, and that I really, really whined about in our terrible TV show endings. And it is one of absolutely the worst fictional deaths in the history of fictional deaths, in my opinion. And that was Bellamy Blake from The 100. I thought his whole, first of all, he died for no reason. Straight up, absolutely no reason at all. Clark comes in, she kills him after saying, 2 words to him. Just has to kill him because there's no other option. She couldn't have shot him in the leg, so he couldn't have handed the book over.
Yeah.
No, we have to kill him. We absolutely have to. Then she doesn't even get the book that she killed him over. So he literally died for no reason at all. And he was only in that season, and the actor had asked for time off, which is fine. But if you know you only have an actor for 3 episodes, why would you make him that 3 episodes? Make him, after all this whole show has been all about them and their people and their family and all this stuff, to come up and say, well, I saw a vision and now I'm against everybody and I'm joining a cult and there's nothing that y'all can convince me otherwise. And then they're just like, well, screw you then, dead. And then she goes to tell everybody he's dead, and they're like, it's cool.
Yeah.
Nobody even cares.
No.
And I'm like, so... I don't know. And then he was the only one who didn't get to join them at the end of the show. It was just the worst thing I have ever seen in my life. It was disrespectful to the actor, to the character, and to the fans. And I'm really, really peeved about it. And screw you, Jason.
She's really peeved about it.
Yes,
Really peeved.
It's probably the one on this list I'm the most mad about. And it is one of the most recent ones that happened. So that could also be why. But even with some of these other deaths, this one was the most pointless.
Yeah.
Because it was for nothing.
Literally for nothing.
And then they came up and said, oh, he was right.
Yeah.
After Clark was like, I did everything I could.
Did nothing, and then didn't even get what she came for.
She literally did nothing else to try to get that book except for shoot him in the friggin' heart.
Dumb.
The writing was terrible, and I hate it. That whole final season was awful. It was the worst ending, one of the worst endings ever, but that was definitely one of the worst deaths I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, obviously this whole thing is about stupid deaths and pointless deaths. But another thing that really irritates me about deaths, because we watch a lot of shows that are supernatural or fantastical or whatever. So it's also very irritating when you have a villain that it's too easy to kill at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like Silas on the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
They really made Silas out to be really like completely immortal to where nothing could kill him. Mm-hmm. Nothing at all. It was going to be the hardest thing they'd ever dealt with in their whole lives. They spend this whole season and then they just kill him. Like, no problem. Same with the Night King on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're going to have this whole thing. And they should have had this whole thing, first of all, for the Night King, by the way. Oh, no, Arya just kills him.
No problem.
No problem. No!
When you finally actually get face to face with him and try to fight him.
Yeah, it's just super easy.
Yeah. I hate that too.
Yeah.
That happens a lot of times where I hate when there's a big build up to something and then nothing happens.
Yeah.
Really. Or it's just so easy that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate that too.
That is very irritating.
Okay, I have. Now, the others I have, well, technically, one of them's also from a movie, but they're all from books. So, the first one, and this one I'm not so super mad about, but I thought, why, was from the Hunger Games, and that was Prim.
Yeah.
Because after everything that we've been through, like, the whole story was about Katniss trying to protect her sister.
Yeah.
After everything you've done, she's gonna die anyway.
Yeah.
So all this fighting you've done for your sister was for nothing.
Right.
Is what it felt like.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought that one was. I mean, it was really sad, obviously, and then the after effects of then Katniss voting for a Hunger Games felt so out of character.
Yeah.
For her, after all this fighting that she had done, for her to vote for a Hunger Games,
yeah,
just felt like that was one of the dumbest things that happened.
It's just like, you've come so far, you've overcome so much, you've overthrown the Capitol to make everything, basically put everything back to rights. You've killed these virtual dictators in Coin and Snow, and then you're just going to put the system, I mean, why did you even do all that if you're just going to put that system back in place? That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, to these other kids in the Capitol, because they happen to be born in the Capitol, so they deserve to have to fight to the death.
They didn't choose that no more than you chose to be born in District 12.
Yeah.
So
I really hated that, and that seemed to be the only thing that came out of,
And really, too,
Prim dying.
It was so dumb because you have this opinion of Capitol people. But all of the Capitol people that we really spent any time around just didn't know any better.
Yeah.
Like Effie. I mean, Effie is like grade A Capitol person. Mm-hmm. But she didn't know what it actually meant to watch these kids die and until she was in there with them.
And met them.
Yeah, and then with Senna and all of them, I mean,
it's like when you watch anything on TV. It doesn't seem that real, even though, because you're watching it on TV.
Yeah.
Like, if you actually met these people that you're seeing this stuff about.
Yeah.
And actually,
you'd feel differently about it. I mean, just like Effie did. Mm-hmm. She didn't feel that way after she'd been through this with them. I mean, she didn't feel like, it's perfectly okay to continue on having the Hunger Games. I mean, so if Effie was a prime example of what a Capitol person is like, and she, after interacting with you, didn't feel the same way, what would make you think that all of the Capitol people wouldn't at least be somewhat similar to her?
Yeah. And it was also annoying because I'm pretty sure Haymitch said that he was with Katniss.
Yeah.
So he also voted for it. And I was like, this is why PETA is the best one of all y'all.
Right? Yeah.
But that was one I thought was that her death and the aftermath of her death were really dumb.
I agree.
I don't like it.
Yeah. No, Hunger Games got us off on this kick, and so naturally then we went to Divergent.
Which is also on this list.
Because it had the dumbest death in a book, maybe ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because they killed the main character.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
First of all, the whole last book was just unrelated to the first two, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was weird.
And it wasn't even that good, especially compared to the other two. And then you're going to kill Triss after
right
all of
there.
this for really nothing.
Yeah. Hers was so dumb. That was possibly probably the book death that I would have been the most mad about.
Yeah. No good.
It ruined everything.
It did ruin everything. We're never going to read those books again.
No.
Or if we do, we're not reading the third one. We'll make up our own ending.
It'll be like, yeah, you read the first, pretend. It's like How I Met Your Mother. You only watch up to the
6th season.
Yeah. Even if you watch the final season, you only watch up to when he actually met the mother, and then you quit. Because that's where it should have
That's where it ended.
That's where it ended. Do you have anything else?
No.
That's all I had written on my list. So there's probably a bunch more and some we didn't think of, but...
Those were the main ones, obviously, because we remembered those and we felt like they were really dumb.
Yes.
So, if you have stupid deaths, drop them in the comments.
Yep.
If you have just sad deaths, save them.
Yeah, come back because we're going to do another episode probably where we talk about really, I don't know if it'll be a whining episode or not, but we'll do one where
it'll be whining and crying.
Yeah, where we talk about really sad fictional deaths.
We'll drink beer on that one, and it'll be called Crying Your Beer.
Yeah.
Mallory doesn't drink beer, so that should be fun.
Yeah, it'll be like...
Maybe hard seltzers.
Yeah, right. I'll do one of those Bud Light seltzers. How about that?
Yeah. So come back. We're not always complaining. Sometimes we're making lists of things that make us happy.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're doing flick or flops.
Yeah, we watch movies that are popular that we've never seen.
Yeah. And sometimes we just do other things. You never know.
We do all sorts of nonsense, so...
So like and subscribe so you can see it all and tell your friends and family and everybody else you know, whether you like them or not.
Yep.
Let us know if there's something that you think might align with our vibe, and maybe we'll make a show about it.
Yeah, what would you like to see a video about?
Yeah. If it involves drinking wine, we are in.
Yeah. Hey, if you make wine and want to sponsor a video, let us know. Send us a message here and we'll
Yeah. If you just drink wine and have a kind you really like, drop that in the comments and we'll try to find it.
We'll go find it and
Because we love trying new kinds.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyway, have a good one. We'll see you on the next show.
Goodbye.
Bye. Yummo.
You Rachel Ray?
You can't use that. It's trademark. Cut that part out.